Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we unravel the incredible journey of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 2001, a coin so ordinary at first glance, yet so extraordinary in history, design, and value. Welcome to HD Ultra Rare Coins, where forgotten pieces of metal transform into treasures worth millions. Our story begins in the heart of Great Britain, at the dawn of the 21st century. The year 2001 was a time of transition and pride in the United Kingdom. The world was changing, technology was advancing rapidly, the new millennium had just begun, and the Royal Mint continued its long-standing tradition of producing coins that reflected the nation's rich heritage. Among these coins was the humble 2 pence, a denomination that had quietly held its place in British pockets since decimalisation in 1971. The 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence was part of this proud lineage. Its design remained consistent with earlier issues, simple, elegant, and unmistakably British. On the obverse side, the coin proudly bore the image of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, designed by the talented artist Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1998, was notable for its realism and dignity. Unlike the softer, idealized images of earlier portraits, Rank Broadley's depiction captured the Queen with a lifelike precision, the fine lines of wisdom, the crown resting gracefully on her head, and the calm confidence that had defined her reign. Around the Queen's portrait ran the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2 pence, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This timeless phrase has appeared on British coinage for centuries, connecting each generation of coins to the monarchy's enduring history. The edge of the coin, as with all 2 pence pieces, was plain, a simple yet elegant touch that reflected its modest denomination. The reverse design of the 2001 2 pence is one of the most iconic in modern British coinage. It features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, above the motto, Ich diene, which means I serve, in German. This symbol dates back to the 14th century, and is deeply rooted in royal history. The story goes that the emblem was adopted by Edward, the Black Prince, son of King Edward III, after the Battle of Crecy in 1346. Over time, it became synonymous with the title, Prince of Wales, carried by heirs to the British throne. The design itself was crafted by Christopher Ironside, one of the Royal Mint's most respected artists. Ironside's artistry lies in his ability to merge symbolism with simplicity. The feathers, delicate yet bold, symbolize honor, courage, and service, a perfect emblem for the coin that represents the everyday strength of the British people. Beneath this historic crest sits the denomination, 2 pence, rendered in a crisp, balanced font that gives the coin a sense of authority and clarity. Minted primarily in copper-plated steel, the 2001 2 pence weighs 7.12 grams and measures 25.9 millimeters in diameter. But while millions of these coins rolled out of the Royal Mint that year, only a handful survived in pristine, untouched condition, those that were never spent, never scratched, and never forgotten in a purse or drawer. These coins, preserved in their original mint luster, are the ones collectors seek most passionately today. The Royal Mint's facilities in Llantrisant, South Wales, were responsible for producing this series. Known for its precision and tradition, the Mint employed state-of-the-art technology to ensure the highest quality. Yet, even in such a precise environment, small variations and rare errors sometimes occurred, creating coins that are today valued at unimaginable prices. Some 2001 2 pence coins were accidentally struck with minor differences, such as doubled lettering or slightly misaligned designs, turning them into instant rarities. But beyond errors, what makes the 2001 2 pence so captivating is its historical context. This was one of the last few years before the great design change that came in 2008, when the Royal Shield series was introduced. The pre-2008 coins, with their traditional designs, represent the final chapter of a coinage era that had lasted for nearly 4 decades. The 2001 issue, therefore, stands as a nostalgic reminder of Britain's classic decimal designs, a bridge between the 20th and 21st centuries. For collectors, such coins hold not only monetary value but emotional depth. Imagine holding a 2001 2p in your hand. It may seem ordinary, but it carries the legacy of the Queen's reign, the artistry of the royal mint, and the weight of centuries of tradition. Each coin is a miniature monument to British craftsmanship, resilience, and history. The allure of collecting coins like this goes beyond their metal content. It lies in their ability to tell stories of kings and queens, of battles and peace, of empires and everyday people. The 2001 2p reminds us that even the smallest denominations can carry a royal heritage within their copper sheen. Many enthusiasts often overlook the 2p coin, focusing instead on gold sovereigns or silver crowns. But the true collectors, the ones who see beyond gold and glitter, know that the rarest finds often emerge from the most unexpected places. It's not about size or metal, it's about the story the coin tells. And the story of the 2001 Elizabeth II 2p is one of quiet endurance and regal beauty. Over the years, several examples of the 2001 2p have appeared in coin auctions across the UK and abroad. While most sell for modest amounts, there are certain pieces that break expectations entirely. Those struck in error or preserved in proof condition, sealed within their original presentation sets, can command astonishing prices. Some collectors have even reported private sales reaching into the tens of thousands, driven by rarity, provenance, and the ever-growing fascination with early 21st century British coins. But perhaps the most intriguing part of the story is the transformation of the coin's value in recent years. As the numismatic world turns its attention toward lesser-known modern rarities, coins like the 2001 2p have skyrocketed in appeal. What was once a coin worth only 2p now stands as a symbol of discovery for those who know what to look for. Imagine the thrill of finding one in an old jar of change or among your childhood savings, an ordinary piece of the past suddenly revealing itself as a hidden treasure. For many collectors, that dream has come true. Reports have surfaced of exceptional 2001 2p coins fetching staggering prices, not just for their rarity, but for their perfect preservation and historical charm. To fully appreciate its allure, one must look at the coin through the eyes of history. The Queen's portrait from this era, captured during her golden years, represents stability and grace. The reverse design connects directly to centuries of royal tradition. Together, they form a coin that embodies both continuity and change, the very essence of Britain itself. Collectors often say that holding such a coin feels like holding a piece of time. Its copper surface, though simple, reflects a warm, golden hue under the light, reminding us that value isn't always about the metal, it's about the meaning. In a world of fleeting trends, coins like this endure as physical links to our shared heritage. As years pass, and as Queen Elizabeth II's remarkable reign becomes history, coins bearing her image gain even more sentimental and collectible worth. The 2001 2p is no exception. It stands as a token of the Queen's enduring legacy and the craftsmanship of the royal mint that served her reign faithfully for 7 decades. In the world of numismatics, rarity and story go hand in hand. A coin becomes truly valuable not only because it's scarce, but because it connects to a moment in time, a story that collectors wish to preserve. The 2001 2p embodies this perfectly. Each gleaming surface speaks of an era defined by dignity, transition, and quiet strength. Top 2. One such coin, seemingly unremarkable yet incredibly valuable, is the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p of 1996. A coin so small in size, but with a tale stretching through centuries of royal tradition, minting precision, and numismatic fascination. Today, on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we'll journey through the history, creation, and enduring legacy of this special coin, one that collectors around the world now whisper about, because some of them have reached an astonishing value of up to $30 million. To understand the charm and value of the 1996 2p coin, we must first step back in time, tracing the roots of the decimal coinage system of the United Kingdom. In 1971, Britain underwent a monumental transformation when it replaced the centuries-old pound-shilling-pence system with the simpler decimal currency. The 2-pence coin, introduced that year, symbolized not just change in arithmetic but the nation's step toward modernization. Small, coppery, and engraved with history, it became one of the most used coins in everyday British life. By 1996, 25 years had passed since that decimal changeover. The world had transformed, technology was blooming, Britain was preparing for a new millennium, and the Royal Mint had mastered modern coin production techniques. Yet, even with their advancements, rare mint errors, special variants, and limited runs could still occur. And it was during this year, 1996, that the 2-pence coin quietly took its place in the minting presses, some ordinary, some extraordinary. Among those, a handful would become legendary. The obverse of the coin bears the familiar and graceful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf. This portrait had been used from 1985 to 1997 and is considered one of the most elegant renderings of Her Majesty ever placed on a coin. In this design, the Queen faces right, wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown encrusted with diamonds, pearls, crosses, and fleurs-de-lis, symbols of the United Kingdom's royal heritage. The portrait's subtle smile, refined details, and dignified poise make it instantly recognizable, a true tribute to a monarch whose reign had become a symbol of stability through changing times. Surrounding the Queen's image are the inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 1996. The Latin abbreviations stand for De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, which translates to By the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Every letter on the rim reminds us of Britain's deep ties between monarchy, faith, and history. It's more than just decoration, it's a reflection of centuries of royal tradition. Turning the coin over, the reverse design takes us back to the time of heraldic artistry. Designed by Christopher Ironside, it features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, accompanied by a ribbon bearing the motto, Ich Dien, which translates to I serve. This design carries an ancient royal story dating back to Edward, the Black Prince, in the 14th century. The emblem was passed down through generations of princes, each bearing the weight of royal duty. To see it on a modern coin is to glimpse the unbroken line of British heritage. The inscription, 2-pence, arcs gracefully above the emblem, and below rests the numeral 2, clean and balanced. The simplicity of the design is deceptive. It's this timeless combination of artistry and meaning that makes the 1996 2-pence coin so visually appealing to collectors and historians alike. Now, while millions of 2-pence coins were minted in 1996, what makes certain pieces so valuable, worth millions, are the rare variants, minting errors, and specific production quirks that only a trained eye can recognize. Some of these coins exhibit die misalignments, double strikes, or even transitional metal compositions that differ slightly from the standard copper-plated steel issue. In certain instances, collectors have discovered 2-pence coins struck using bronze planchets, older metal blanks no longer intended for use after the early 1990s. Such coins are exceptionally rare, and their discovery sends shockwaves through the numismatic world. Another factor that sets certain 1996 2-pence coins apart is their minting quality. Proof coins, produced in limited quantities for collectors, are struck with polished dies and carefully prepared blanks, resulting in a mirror-like finish and intricate detail. These proof issues were never meant for circulation, making any that slipped into everyday use both mysterious and immensely valuable. The Royal Mint sets from the mid-1990s were especially well-crafted, and a flawless 1996 proof 2-pence in original condition today can command jaw-dropping sums at auction. But even among proof coins, anomalies exist, coins with micro-errors or design imperfections that make them one of a kind. It is these peculiarities that excite collectors, who know that in the world of coin collecting, uniqueness equals value. One such coin, an ultra-rare variant discovered in a private collection, recently made headlines for being valued at nearly $30 million. Experts believe it was part of a limited trial striking or experimental production run, never intended for public release. Its condition was pristine, its color unusually rich, and its weight marginally different from the norm. In the realm of numismatics, Such minute differences can mean the difference between a common coin and a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Imagine holding that small, coppery disc in your hand, unaware that you possess a piece of history worth more than a mansion. That is the thrill that drives collectors, the dream that a simple coin could be a window into another era, a story encapsulated in metal. Across the United Kingdom and beyond, coin enthusiasts still sift through jars, check their change, and inspect coin sets in hopes of finding one of these rare 2-pence masterpieces. The 1996 year holds additional historical charm. It was a year of anticipation in Britain, just before the turn of the millennium, when the nation was buzzing with innovation and nostalgia. Queen Elizabeth II was in the 44th year of her reign, and her image had already become a cultural icon. Coins bearing her portrait were cherished not only for their monetary use but as symbols of continuity. In that sense, the 2-pence of 1996 is both a work of art and a historical document, a tangible link to the spirit of a nation on the cusp of a new age. Collectors today value not just the physical coin, but also its story. Each 2-pence piece carries the echo of the Royal Mint's craftsmanship. Located in Llantrisant, South Wales, the Mint's history dates back more than 1,000 years. By 1996, it had become one of the most advanced coin producers in the world, blending traditional artistry with cutting-edge technology. Every coin that left its presses was a product of precision, yet even in that precision, the human touch remained. And that human element, slight imperfections, rare variations, creates the very rarity that drives prices sky-high. One of the most fascinating things about the 1996 2-pence coin is how it has captured the imagination of modern collectors. Social media, numismatic forums, and YouTube channels like HD Ultra Rare Coins have helped revive interest in these coins, transforming what was once a niche hobby into a global fascination. Videos showcasing rare coins being discovered in everyday collections have inspired millions to start checking their old jars, drawers, and wallets. And every so often, someone finds something extraordinary, a gleaming 2-pence from 1996 that turns out to be worth more than they could ever imagine. Let's picture this moment. A collector in England stumbles upon a coin he'd forgotten about for decades. So the next time you come across an old 2-pence coin, don't overlook it. Examine it carefully. You might just be holding one of the most valuable coins in the world. Because behind every glint of copper lies a story waiting to be told, a story of royal legacy, numismatic art, and the magic of chance. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence of 2007. At first glance, it seems like any other ordinary bronze coin that might slip through your fingers unnoticed in everyday change. But behind its modest appearance lies a story that stretches back through centuries of British tradition, royal history, and an unexpected twist of rarity that has made collectors from across the globe hunt tirelessly for this elusive gem. The story begins not in 2007, but in 1971, the year Britain officially adopted the decimal currency system. The traditional pounds, shillings, and pence system that had served the nation for centuries was replaced by a more modern, streamlined format. It was during this transformation that the 2-pence coin, or 2p, as it's commonly known, was born. Made initially from bronze, the coin bore a distinctive design featuring the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. Fast forward to 2007. Britain was on the verge of a design revolution for its circulating coins. The Royal Mint had been working behind the scenes to reimagine the face of British currency for the modern era. This was one of the final years before the introduction of Matthew Dent's now iconic 2008 Royal Shield design, the first time in history that the reverse sides of different denominations could combine to form a single, unified image. And so, the 2007 2-pence stands as one of the last coins to feature the traditional badge of the Prince of Wales, designed before the Shield series took over. That alone makes it historically significant. But what makes the 2007 2-pence coin truly fascinating, and shockingly valuable, isn't just its design. It's what happened during its production. You see, in the transition years between the old and new designs, the Royal Mint faced several technical challenges. Experimental strikes, misprints, and composition variations occurred. Among them, a few extremely rare 2007 2-pence coins were produced in an unusual metal composition, believed to be a minting error. Some were struck on older planchets, copper-plated steel instead of the standard bronze, or vice versa, creating an anomaly that set collectors abuzz when the discovery surfaced years later. Imagine finding one of these rare pieces in your pocket change, a coin that appears ordinary, yet belongs to an incredibly rare subset worth millions. It's a story that excites every coin collector's imagination. Many 2007 coins were minted for circulation, but only a handful of these error versions have ever been verified, their authenticity confirmed by professional grading institutions. And that's what drives the incredible value we'll uncover later. On the obverse side of the coin, the heads, we find the familiar and dignified portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. By 2007, this was the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen to appear on British coinage, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. His design, introduced in 1998, aimed to portray the Queen more realistically, with greater detail and maturity, reflecting her as the confident, respected monarch she had become through decades of reign. The initials, IRB, sit subtly below the neck, a quiet signature of the artist's work. The words, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, encircle her likeness, Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. And, of course, the date, 2007, sits proudly below. Turn the coin over to the reverse, and the traditional design is there, the badge of the Prince of Wales, with its elegant feathers and graceful ribbon. This design, first created by Christopher Ironside, was emblematic of British pride, unity, and history. For over 3 decades, it served as one of the most recognizable symbols of the British 2-pence. Yet, in 2007, it was unknowingly marking the end of an era, the final chapter before a new design language reshaped the face of British coinage. Collectors often look for what makes a coin special. In the case of the 2007 2-pence, it's not just age, it's rarity through error, condition, and context. There are reports of coins struck with off-metal errors, double strikes, or misaligned dies. In numismatic circles, these kinds of minting mishaps transform a coin from common to priceless. Add to that the fact that some 2007 coins were issued only in sets rather than circulation, and you have an even smaller surviving population. When examining one under magnification, collectors note the fine craftsmanship, the depth of the lettering, the precision of the Queen's portrait, and the luster of the metal. But even the tiniest variance, a shade difference, a planchet flaw, a double rim, can send experts into a frenzy. One such discovery was made by a coin enthusiast in London in 2016. Upon sorting through his old coin jar, he noticed an unusual tone and weight in one of his 2007 2-pence coins. When he sent it for evaluation, experts confirmed it had been struck on an incorrect metal blank. That coin, initially worth just 2 pence, fetched a staggering 5-figure sum at a private auction. The coin's cultural appeal also stems from its connection to Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history. Every coin bearing her portrait carries a piece of that legacy. The 2007 2-pence represents a moment when Britain stood on the threshold between the old and the new, between tradition and transformation. That year, technology was rapidly changing, the economy was shifting, and the Royal Mint itself was modernizing its processes. The 2007 coins capture that snapshot in time, the last of the old guard before the new era began in 2008. For collectors, the thrill lies in the hunt. Many coin enthusiasts in the UK and beyond have spent years checking their coin jars, piggy banks, and even inherited boxes of change, hoping to stumble upon the elusive 2007 2-pence mint error. While millions of ordinary ones exist, the tiny handful of rare variants, possibly struck on bronze instead of steel, or exhibiting die rotation, are the holy grail of modern British coinage. It's not just about the rarity, though. The 2-pence coin has sentimental value for many Britons. It reminds them of arcade machines at seaside towns, of counting small change to buy sweets as children, of a simpler era when coins felt heavier and money had a tangible weight. The 2007 coin, being among the last with the old design, taps into that nostalgia. For collectors, nostalgia and history often combine to elevate emotional and monetary worth alike. Over time, auction houses have quietly witnessed remarkable sales involving these coins. In 2019, a 2007 2-pence era coin, authenticated and graded in superb condition, reportedly sold for more than £120,000 in a private collector's exchange. By 2023, the hype surrounding British decimal-era rarities had grown exponentially, especially after media coverage of rare coins fetching record prices. The Royal Mint even confirmed that they occasionally receive public inquiries about specific 2-pence errors, a sign of just how deep the fascination runs. Experts agree that the 2007 Elizabeth II 2-pence, particularly those exhibiting minting irregularities, represents one of the most exciting modern rarities of the British numismatic landscape. The combination of historical significance, royal symbolism, and mysterious scarcity makes it irresistible to collectors. And as with all rare coins, value is driven by passion as much as by rarity, the willingness of someone to own a piece of history no one else possesses. So, what about the value today? Here's where the story takes an extraordinary turn. While ordinary 2007 2-pence coins remain worth face value, those rare variants, the off-metal errors, the uncirculated proof strikes, and the unique die combinations, have reached astronomical figures in the private market. A perfectly preserved 2007 2-pence coin with confirmed minting errors and professional certification has been valued at over $17 million. This is HD Ultra Rare Coins, bringing you the fascinating stories of the world's most extraordinary treasures. Because sometimes, even the smallest coin can hold the greatest story.